Giving all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Howard Chakodash, send double honors to our apostles and elders, her great millstone, peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So I was just reading this chapter and the other day, and I thought about perhaps sharing something that might be beneficial just as far as development, personal development, both in this truth and in life. So, what you find out is in life and according to the scriptures is that you're always learning. You're always learning new stuff every day. You learn new things about yourself every day. And when you go out in the world and you increase yourself and you develop, right? If you understand that concept that you're always learning, then you understand that for the most part, when the time comes, you're going to have to learn how to listen. And the time's going to circle around where you may have to be a leader in some way, shape, or form. Or you may have to, like, let's take the job, for example, right? You may have to train somebody, or you may have to fill in, or you may be in a position where you have to make the decisions yourself, anything like that. And then you got real life where you may become a parent, both father or mother. Now you have to be a leader by default, right? And even in this truth. So you're always learning, you're always growing, you're always developing. And what I would like to highlight is if you learn how to play the support role, if you can master that, then those are good qualifications to become a leader, and those are just good development skills overall. And there's tons of scriptures on it. So here's what it says. This is Sirach chapter 7, verse 4. It says, "Seek not of the Lord preeminence, neither of the king the seat of honor." Now let's first look up that word preeminence. So Google says preeminence is a noun that means the state of being more important or better than others. Another definition, it says just extremely eminent or distinguished, outstanding. So we can look up the word eminent. So extremely eminent. So eminence means fame or recognized superiority, especially within a particular sphere or possession, right? So like in the scriptures, it tell you that Yahweh Shai has preeminence over the body. So in the scripture, if we go back where it says, "Seek not of the Lord preeminence, neither of the king the seat of honor," right? It means don't try to immediately try to put yourself in a high position because you want the fame or the praise that come with it, but you're not actually qualified for the position. Now, if life throws you a curve and you have no choice but to take it, that's one thing. But when it says seek not, it doesn't mean don't try to seek to be better or develop yourself as a person, as a man or woman, right? Both in the truth and in life, right? For the world, it means don't seek that which is too high, because, half the time you don't really truly know what you're getting involved in until you get in that position. But you have people who seek that position just for the hell of it. Or it's like, say, like if you take the world, right? In the world, you have people who want to take the super top spot. But once they get in maybe that position, they may sink because they're not really qualified. Perhaps maybe it's because they have to oversee multiple peoples, meet their demands, deal with their complaints, and as well as bear the burden of responsibility when things get escalated. You've seen this, time and time out there if you got a lot of work experience. So a lot of times people can sink because they just thought they were qualified, but perhaps they weren't, or they didn't have enough skills, or they didn't have enough experience. Right? It says, verse 5, "Justify not thyself before the Lord, and boast not of thy wisdom before the king. Seek not to be judged, being not able to take away iniquity." Right? It means you're not qualified. Okay. It says, "Lest at any time thou fear the person of the mighty, and lay a stumbling block in the way of thy uprightness." So we'll read that as well in the Good News Translation. Verse 4, it says, "Don't ask the Lord for a place of honor or ask the king for an important position. Don't try to convince the Lord that you are righteous or make a show of your wisdom before the king. Don't set your heart on being a judge unless you have the strength of character it takes to put an end to injustice. Right? So you have to be qualified. Right? Now there's nothing wrong with wanting to do better, but you have instances just like when Paul explained what the qualifications of being both a bishop and a deacon. He lists the qualifications because people would just want to be that because they think they for that. But he said no. He said make sure whoever it is, and he gave him the qualifications. One of the main ones is that he said he's not covetous, because you're going to have access to all this money and bodies. And if he's covetous, he's going to fall into the grasp of Satan and do wickedness. And that's why he said not being a novice, meaning what, a beginner. You have to be experienced, because you could find yourself in a position that you really aren't qualified for, but you seek it just for the hell of seeking it. Now, I'm going to tell you let me keep going. It says, if you let yourself be influenced by someone in a position of power, your integrity will be damaged. Right. So I'm going to tell you, right, there is glory in having and just being, as the goal really is, as Paul said, he says, I know how to abound in all cases. That's truly the best way. That means you are prepared and flexible. Okay, that's Philippians 4, verse 12. Now he says, I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Everywhere, in all things, I am instructed, both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengthened me. So Paul basically said he's well-rounded and balanced in the spirit, and in life he has a lot of experience. So there's really no situation you could put him in that he won't know how to manage or be content with. So, what I wanted to explain was playing that support role. There's truly a lot of benefits to that. And those if you can learn how to support, which by default, you know how to supply, you know how to follow orders, follow instructions, and you know how to care or see about providing the things for others. So right off the back, you're looking on how to give things to others. Those are good qualifications. And these are all qualifications of a good leader as well. Now, like, when I was younger, when I was playing basketball, I was point guard my whole life. So I know what it's like I had to learn what it's like to, in all situations, fast break, started a game. The most tense situations is always the first, they throw the ball up, the referee throw the ball up, and there's first that happens. And then if it's a fast break, because no matter what happens, you're the go-to. They're looking for you. That's what the coach says. The moment something go down, get a ball to the point guard, and then now it's up to you to make a play. So I dealt with that. And I also, when I became a gamer, when I started gaming, and I played shooters, right? And I took that competitive. That's when I really learned the benefits of knowing how to play the role of support. Because even though you may be really good at certain things, if you have to play as a team, then what makes you truly stand out as a good teammate is being able to play a position. Even though, let's say, if we take Halo for existence, okay, you're a good sniper, congratulations, but you're not going to always be in a position where you have it. Maybe the other team got it, maybe a teammate got it. So you still got to be effective in some way. So you still got to know how to make a play. You got to know how to play objective. So I had to learn all those things. And you learn that when you try to play competitive. If you grow up playing sports, then you can really understand like order, because you got your ref yelling at you, you got the ref yelling at you, got your coach yelling at you. And, so coming to the truth, and you got to get up under some order, you kind of already experienced, but you see some Jakes still got a problem with order. But, I had to learn that. And the best way to be truly, so if I was looking to play serious for a team, right? Though I may have disagreed, or I knew better plays to be made. If I'm trying to play serious, play the team, and I'm trying to get on somebody's team, and they already got three people, they're looking for a fourth, or they got two people looking for a third, I'm following their lead. I learned to just follow their lead and just say, okay, whatever y'all want. And I'm telling you, the one who tends to shine the most is the one that's known for playing that assist role, right? You don't always have to be the man at the top of the leaderboards. You don't always have to be that. It's gonna happen regardless, because the people who are the best at the top of the leaderboards in some way, shape, or form have all know how to play that support role in some way, because that means you're qualified really for any position that life may throw at you, right? So this is Luke chapter 15, and now this is the parable of the prodigal son. And I'm just going to highlight the older brother, as Luke 15:11 says, and he had two sons. A certain man, he said, a certain man had two sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that fall to me, and he divided unto them his living. Right. And not many days after the younger son gathered all together, he took his journey to a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. Now, you know the story. He repented, and he came back to his father, and he was welcome. And not only that, put a garment on him. Then he threw a feast for him, as the scriptures are showing you that, as he explains, that you can be received back in is just as important, and angels rejoice over that, to come back. So if we deal with the elder son, right? Verse 25, it says, Now his elder son was in the field, and as he came, he drew nigh to the house and heard music and dancing. And he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said unto them, Thy brother is come, and thy father has killed the fatted calf, because he have received him safe and sound. And he was angry and would not go in. Therefore came his father out and entreated him. And he answering said to his father, Lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgressed I at any time thy commandment. And yet thou never gavest me a kid, that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as this thy son was come, which devoured thy living with harlots, thou killed for him the fatted calf. And he said unto him, Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. It was meet that we should make merry and be glad, for this thy brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found. So you can learn from this. So the older brother, right, he's saying, well, wait a minute, man, you ain't never thrown me a feast, and I never broke the law. I never broke your commandment. I didn't do what he did. Where was my party at? But what did the father say? He said, everything I have is yours. He said, but should we not rejoice that your brother has came back? Meaning, I understand, son. Everything I have is yours. And I used this example before, but I used to watch, when you used to watch Gordon Ramsay, right? There is this guy that he always took with him. I don't know his name, but let's say his name was Ramon. You know how Ramsay is, right? He goes, this is when he would bring people to his restaurant, and they would have to work at his restaurant. Now, he didn't play no games. So they're trying to prove to Ramsay that they're qualified. So when it comes time to make that spaghetti, he told the guest, I need spaghetti such and such. So they going at it. He takes one look at it. You done? He looks at it. He like, the hell is this? It's, is you boiled it for too long? He might throw the plate, however it is. And then if you get too fed up, you know what he do? He just kick you off. He says, you just sit down. And then you just say, Ramon, pasta now. And Ramon say, yes, chef. And after watching it for so long, you say, man, this dude, his qualifications, man, he don't play no games. And so you really got to be on your P's and Q's. And I eventually noticed that guy, Ramon. I said, now that's the real hero right there. Because think about it, this man, his how do you say, his qualifications, right, is so high that he knows Like, man, look, get this person out of here, man. Ramon, come on, man. I need you out here. And he just goes, yes, chef. So he knows exactly what qualifications to meet. He knows exactly what to prepare. And the chef just knows, like, yeah, I got my man on the job, so I know it's gonna be good. Right? That's the man right there. And then and then there's times where he may have to walk away to go counsel the guest or whatever. Ramon, take over. I gotta step away for a minute. Yes, chef. All right, let's go. Let's go with those peas. Let's get that fish going. I said, you see, now he may not get any highlights, but I acknowledged him. I said, that's the real hero right there. Now, let's say that dude was to ever throw a fit at Gordon Ramsay and be like, look, man, you ain't never put me in the show. You ain't never highlighted my name. Ramsay, he'll be like, bro, I need you. Whenever I start this up, I'm looking for you right there. You know, if I travel or whatever, I'm making sure you're with me. So what's the problem? You see, you my man. You see, but you see, Ramon, he ain't never complained because he understood and he knew how to play that role, which are good qualifications of a leader. Because I guarantee you, Mr. Ramsay will tell you that he once had to play that role before he became a leader. And just like in the scriptures here, did not the father go and seek out the older son and say, where my son at? Where he at? So you're not forgotten. He still went and sought him out. So you see, there's glory in that being that older brother. And the glory is, as the scripture says, it's better to obey than to give sacrifice. Meaning better is it to not have to give sacrifice, right? It's better to just always be doing the right thing than to have to go through being hurt and being healed again, which the Lord's scripture tell you receive back in, but it's better to just always be in good standing. What did LL Cool J say in that song? The most healthy behavior is staying in the clear, which is true. And there's multiple scriptures on it. Like Paul said, he know how to abound. And that's really the best way to be. So I thought about that when I read the scripture when it says, seek not the Lord preeminence, because, you know, you see a lot of issues, let's say in the truth with guys in these camps. You see them constantly make mistake after mistake after mistake. And that's most likely because they didn't want to follow the order. They were just so eager to be the chief priest, the number one this, the number one that they called to keep making these mistakes, right? Because they're like, no, I'm gonna be that guy. But it's best to let the Lord put you in that position, because the scripture says time and chance happen to all men. So eventually those qualities that you have is going to put you in a position where you have to lead. Like I said, in the real world, let's just say you got to help somebody or train somebody. Believe it or not, your leader or your manager or whatever, he's relying on you because he knows, I know that he got it because he followed the rules. And even you may not agree, you may just say, look, I don't really agree with this, but I'll do it. When you can play that role, then you pretty much good, because you see the bigger picture. You can understand from the back what's important. You can see the needs of others, how to give and feed to others, qualifications for the others. Because what you have to understand is that you're always learning. You're always learning. Excuse me. Excuse me. Like, even if I'm around elders, right? And we're around elders and we're teaching, we're doing a lesson. Every times where the elders, they basically go silent. And it's like, you want me to break it down? You want me to lead? Because even they understand that even though they elders, they understand the breakdown, they understand the teacher. You gotta let another brother break it down. Let somebody else teach you. Let somebody else break it down. They know how to break it down. So they let another break it down. They ain't losing nothing. They know the breakdown. Hey brother, yeah, you got it. Right? And here it is, I'm trying to say the least amount of words possible, as the scripture says, but they understand that concept, because that's good understanding the scriptures and qualifications of leaders. And these men are leaders too. So you ultimately learn how to play all around, and that's really the best way to play. Best way to be, shall I say, as Paul said. Proverbs 27:7, the full soul loatheth in honeycomb, but to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. You understand? The honeycomb represents knowledge. When it says the full soul loatheth the honeycomb. So that means that, that phrase goes, you can't teach somebody if they think they know everything. Okay. It says, but to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet, meaning who's always eager to learn more, is always willing to hear anything that somebody has to say. He always has his ear open. He understands that he's always learning. And then eventually the time is going to come where you're going to be in a position where you may have to lead or take the lead. And it's going to happen as in life, as the scripture says, right? But that support role, you can learn to play that. It'll help you develop in life significantly and in the truth. Okay. And as the scripture says, we exalt another daily, right? And this is how the Lord is teaching us how to be holy and righteous. And this is how you develop a strong work ethic, especially in this truth, right? And like you said, in the world, and it's just good development overall, and that's why, the scriptures say that really the book of Sirach, is like the book of manners right there. You know what I mean? Because you'll see that if you avoid a lot of headaches and a lot of danger by taking heed to the scriptures and being willing to take the low, okay, and knowing how to instead of seeking the super high position, right, the top position, you know how to play the support role, okay. You know how to work from behind the scenes, and then eventually you're going to get that chance and opportunity to develop. And then eventually you're going to be just the same as an effective as a leader as well, because we're all leaders in a way. You understand? So, yeah. And like I said, you learn from other guys. When you see these guys and these other kids make these mistakes that you see they're making, chances are it's always because they ain't got no elders and they just resistant in general to correction and to order, and they didn't come up the right way. So but this knowledge is both beneficial both in the truth and in life, because it's personal development. It will help you. And I just thought what I've learned, right, through my years, as we all can understand through your experiences, you can understand how it can all be tied to the scriptures and how it's all beneficial in life in general. Okay. So with that, sure.